As I stand here, the depth of my loss is unfathomable. And I ever loved, my first hero, and an enduring role model. I'm blessed to forever be, as he called me, the first baby, or Meggles. I am grateful for the times we had, for the wisdom he shared, and for the love that he gave us. I recall my father's blue eyes, always full of mischief, and his presence that could light up the gloomiest of rooms. Even though I miss him terribly, I know he would want us to remember him with joy and laughter. In 1999, I was in 5th grade at Graydon Elementary in Miss Oscarson's class. I nominated my dad for Father of the Year and wanted to share with you all what I wrote. Father of the Year Essay Contest. I nominate my dad for the Father of the Year contest. His name is Chuck McKeon. He has done many things in my life. He loves me, cares for me, and helps me when I'm feeling down or feeling sick. A funny memory here, even though there was no music. Another memory with my dad was when we were on a cruise ship at St. Martin Island. My life and what's going on with me. I'd also want to go on a vacation with just the two of us. The qualities that my dad has are that he's very strong, has a good sense of humor, and is the best dad and husband. The best thing I like about him is his funny pancakes. He makes Minnie Mouse pancakes for my sister and I, and makes Mickey Mouse for my brother. He also likes to get to know my friends better and plays around with us. My friends and my brother's friends like him a lot. In conclusion, my dad is so important to me, and I'm thankful that he is my dad. As a child, and still today, I never questioned or doubted the insurmountable amount of love my dad had for me. Birthday cards are something I've never been a fan of, unless, of course, they were from Chuckles. When searching through old memories of my dad and I found a handful of them and wanted to share with you all a specific card from a few years ago that really stood out. Daughter, you're more wonderful than I ever imagined. When I first held you in my arms, I wanted so much to be a perfect parent. You were already a perfect daughter. In the years since then, I've learned that nobody needs to be perfect, as long as there's plenty of love, and we have that. I found out that my dreams for you aren't always the same as your own, but we can have trust in each other. I've watched you grow and become far more than I could have ever imagined. When I first held you in my arms, and my pride in you keeps growing too. And today, I just wanted you to know that you made being a parent life's greatest reward. And I love you very much. Happy birthday. Signed, Chuck E. Cheese next year. Love you, Dad.
How old were you?
It was like 2 years ago. 2 years ago. Lastly, May 27th, 1990, I wrote a pledge in a Father's Day book that I made for my dad. I promise to, 1, make a place for him in my heart. 2, care for him. And 3, love him. 24 years later, I promise to still honor that pledge. As we say goodbye, I promise to keep your memory alive, to live by the values you taught me, and to make you proud. Classic. I love you, Dad, and I miss you than words can express. Thank you again for all being here today to remember my father, to celebrate his life and share our grief. It means more than I can even express.
Oh, can you hear me? I'm Chuck's daughter. Nice to meet you. Thanks for coming. I also wanted to share some words about my dad, if that's all right. Well, for my whole life, I was really proud to introduce people to my dad. My friends always thought he was really cool. I remember when I was a kid, he would come read to the class, and he would show up in a suit and tie with a bag from the gas station with 30 king-sized Mamba shoes, and he would pass them out to everybody, and it made me really, really popular. He was a really good storyteller. He was funny. He was outgoing. He was performative, and he was dramatic. When I got older, I really got to see how popular he was everywhere I went. I remember I used to take the city bus with him after he got his first DWI. And every time we got on the bus, it was like getting on the bus with a celebrity. Everybody would come up and shake my hand and tell me what a great guy my dad was. How he helped them out in court and everything else. My dad, he taught me never to judge people. And because of him, I can talk to anybody. He told some of his friends that I got the best parts of him, and I don't know if that's true, but I do know because of him. I'm funny, and I'm outgoing, and I'm performative, and I'm dramatic. You know, I was mad at my dad for a lot of things. I never got a chance to forgive him for some of the things he didn't apologize for. And dying is kind of the final straw. I'm never gonna forgive him for that. But I loved him more than anybody else, and he disappointed me a lot. But I never doubted for a second that he loved me. He really did. And that's kind of what he taught me. It was about the fallibility of being a human being. You can love somebody with your whole heart and still disappoint them. And what I hope I taught my dad back was that even when you do let people down, that they can love you back with their whole heart. And I really did. I always will. I hope I can be as good of a storyteller as he was, because I don't get to introduce him to anybody anymore. But for the rest of my life, he'll be a story that I'm proud to tell. Thank you all for coming. I can't wait to hear some of the stories you have tonight. And I did set up you guys right here. Nobody's using it. This was hard to set up. This is a little booth. It says share a story. It's recording on that. You don't do anything. But don't tell the stories to me. Tell them there, because I'm not going to remember if you tell me tonight. So please do that. And the last thing I'll say is I know a lot of you guys are here with the blues. If you are in possession of one of those white and blue striped jerseys, I don't have one, and I really, really want one. Please find me. If I don't get one, I'll kill myself. And if you don't think that was funny, fuck off, my dad would have.
I'm Chuck's fourth daughter, Sophia. A lot of you know Dad from...
Hey, shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up!
Okay. Dad was a teammate. He was an attorney. He was a great attorney. He was a friend, but most importantly, he was our dad, and he was the best dad I think anyone could have ever had. He is so funny, like so funny. He can make a joke out of anything. I didn't really prepare anything, so sorry. I'll just share some funny memories, I guess. One time we were playing, Grandma got pulled over by a reindeer in the car, and he got pulled over. Wasn't the first time. And that's how we got out of that ticket. Dad told the cop that we were singing Grandma Got Pulled Over by a Reindeer, and that's why he was speeding. We also got pulled over because my friend had to pee really bad, and he was speeding trying to get home. Sorry, he was just a really funny guy, and any time you walk up to him and you meet him, you love him. He makes everyone feel so welcomed, so loved. He truly was probably the best man I have ever known. That's kind of all I have to say.
I do want to add one more thing to the lovely #1 dad book that I did in 1999. Really just rings true today. So I colored beautiful picture of my dad fishing, which he never did. And it says, "My dad is special to me because he takes me wherever I want to go. I like it when my dad smiles. My dad can do many things. I think he's best at gambling." 1999. "My dad is as handsome as a rose. My dad is smart. He even knows all the responsibility of a judge," in parentheses, because he is a judge. 5/27/1999. A lot of shit.
I know most of you guys here. I'm Joe Fritkin. I'm Paula's little brother and uncle to these children, and I can't tell you as a family, you can see how heartbroken we are, but our hearts well with love and positive feelings because we see all of you looking up at us and understand that not only did you love Chuck, you love each and every person that's standing up here, and so it lifts us up, and we thank you. For my blues friends and family, all I can say is Allez les Blues. And we remember Chuck the way he was, right? If he walked up here and said, "Love on the rocks, it ain't no big surprise." And he'd say, "My name's Chuck, and I'm a Pisces, and could you buy me a beer? I don't know." Look, it's from Rockhurst University to the Kansas City Blues to the Kansas City Junior Blues. Chuck loved all of the men in this room, many of their wives. And but he really loved coaching the Junior Blues, and I have to say I saw as much love out of him with coaching the kids as I ever saw as a player with the Blues. Chuck worked his ass off when he played, and he exuded the love for the game, and he brought that to many, many young men. And I'm proud that at the end of his time of being connected with the Blues, it was teaching men how to play the game that he loved, to do it the right way, to play the Blues way, to knock them on their ass, pick them up after the game, pat them on the head, and said, "You played well, but you lost." And that's the way.
Look elegant doing it.
Say that, Mary.
And look elegant doing it.
No question about it. But, you know, the game of life is hard, and you play hard, and you give everything you can, and I know that he did, and you can see that in these children. From Matt McKeon, I know you're not here to say anything, but your dad loved you with all the power in the world. Sophia, same thing for you. And you guys are lucky, right? Megan got to tell you the stories of why he was a super dad, because he was, and I see these pictures, particularly the ones with the firecrackers hanging out of his ass as he's running. But I got to tell you, that is the Chuck that we loved, you know? And all I can say is, I'm sorry he's not going to be with us anymore, but remember that smile, that cockeyed, goofy-ass smile. And those guys that went to New Orleans, you might remember that Jimmy's food tastes like shit. And then those older boys that went to New Orleans with Chuck that maybe got arrested or didn't get arrested, but most of you made it home in the Winnebago that you all ruined, and he had to explain to Big Truck Chuck when he got home. Or to Cherry Street and Frank Kennedy and the crew of men that lived in that house when I first met Chuck. To the time that I went to my first rugby game in 1982 in Forest Park, and there was a giant fight between the Blues and the St. Louis Bombers that I'm like, how am I ever going to play that game when I grow up? But yet here we are. Fuck the Bombers is right. But look, in the end, all I can say is please hug and love everybody you love, and that includes everyone in this room, because you never know when that chance is not going to be there again. And on behalf of everyone up here, we love you and thank you. Oh, one last thing. There is a box up here. Yeah, no, and I'm going to open the microphone up because I know a lot of you would like to say something about Chuck, but there's also a box up here if you'd like to make a donation on Chuck's behalf to the Kansas City Junior Blues and help support the young men that he tried to uplift and teach the game. So, and there's, and I'm being told that there's also, you can get a beer at the bar, just say you're here for Chuck. Come
Three
on up,
cheers
if you'd like
for
to say
Chuck!
something.
Hip hip!